Islam, praise Allah, Sister Tahida, Najee-Ullah, Califa and Large Science Temple, California, Inc. Coming at you today, August 22nd, 2014. Last day of Leo, okay? And it's also being Angel Day. And this is the day on which people are encouraged to do one act of service to another person, be someone's angel. And pursuant to our own doctrine, specifically the questionnaires for Moorish American children, the 101s, wherein it asks you, in fact, I'll just read it from on the Califa Media's book. I'm going to repeat myself, a collection of artifacts from a collection of artifacts reproduced from original printings of Moorish Science Temple of America literature. All right. One of which in this book is included the 101. All right. So key 38. What is an angel? An angel is a thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. 39. What are angels used for? To carry messages to the four corners of the world, to all nations. Law, and I'm not going to leave 40 out, okay? What is our prophet to us? He is an angel of Allah who is sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah. I'm going to stop right there, because I wanted to get to my bit of service that I'd like to contribute on this day, all right? And I'm going to throw in that it's a little bit of zakat, too, all right? A little side note, a lesson that, or a project I'm working on with my children. We have star stickers on the desk. So, our aim is to see how long it's going to take us to cover this desk with these star stickers. And they're small, they're little dots, okay? And, each sticker can only be acquired by doing an act of good deed for somebody not in our family, all right? Something to help make somebody's day a little brighter, their life a little easier. So we're doing pretty good, you know, we got one side of it covered in less than a month. So keep you posted on that, I guess. Okay, but anyway, I'm adding another sticker tonight, okay? It's being Angel Day, last day of Leo. Tomorrow morning we'll be entering into Virgo, where we should be reaping whatever you've sown in the months leading up to this part of the year, specifically from Aries till now. So in that spirit, from the stormy spring of Aries through Taurus, through Gemini, through Cancer, and now through Leo. Now we should be, whatever lessons I picked up as far as business, I'm about to share with you all on this last day. I'm gonna jump the gun and share it with you and get my donation out of the way for being the transit of Virgo as well. Anyway, today's topic is, I guess I'll entitle it Temple Biz. We have a more biz segment. I'll call this one Temple Biz, okay? Where more biz is dealing with the corporate side from a Moorish perspective. Temple Biz is dealing with the temple biz, exactly as it sounds, okay? Because according to prophecy, the European will stay here as long as we don't know how to take care of our own business, all right? So that doesn't mean we have to, yes, I'm going to leave the European here long enough for you to learn how to run a government, not for them to teach you how, okay? Me personally, this is me, I interpret that to mean I don't have to do what they're doing. I appreciate the format. I can see where we were in the creation of what they're using right now. But I can see a lot of stuff that's going to get dropped, because I don't see the need for 2 million different ways to get in trouble, all right? So, or statutes, that's what they call them. So anyway, today I'm going into temple business, all right? And the first thing I want to do is go over a few definitions, okay? I have my notes, but I don't have my book with me. So I'll be returning just a moment. Hey, Bob, and we're back. Okay, let's run and get my recognition Black Law, alright? First I'm going to go over a few terms to make sure that we're all on the same page. Even if this isn't the dictionary you use, please just acknowledge that I'm using this dictionary and the terms I'm referring to come from here. So if it doesn't sound right, it's probably because I'm using a different reference, right? And this is it, Black's Law, 4th edition, okay? First word I want to go over is charter, okay? All right. Charter. Charter. Right. An instrument emanating from a sovereign power in the nature of a grant, either to a whole nation or to a class or portion of people, or to a colony or dependency, and assuring to them certain rights, liberties, or powers. Such was the Great Charter or Magna Carta, and such also were the charters granted to certain of the English colonies in America. Okay, so we know which charters they're talking about with the ones as far as the colonies, right? Um, if you're not familiar with that, I'm gonna suggest you look into the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because I want to be considerate of those who already taken it upon themselves to look that up and keep it going. Okay. It goes on to say a city's organic law. Okay, it's law. All right. So a charter is the document you receive from a higher authority appointing you agent or representative of that mission. I would say mission in your particular area. Okay. So for instance, I guess you can kind of consider them like franchises, but franchises are the corporate version. Charters are the body politic organic versions. Okay. Um, you usually don't hear about corporations having charters. What they'll do is a group of people will get a charter as an unincorporated association, right? And then that association will make movements within the corporate realm via a corporate soul or a what is it? A public trust entity, or what's another one? A charitable trust entity, a school, a hospital. Understand? Because the concept of the state is not that old. The activities of man that they're trying to regulate outdate every state. Okay, it's really funny. It's really funny. You're trying to maintain control over something that outdates you by millennia. Okay, so that's why you can only do it within certain limitations. Another, for instance, would be what's that thing called? Swap meet, farmers markets. What's the other name they have for it? Swap meet, farmers market. Yeah, I think that's it. Where you just have people they gather together with their wares, and it's tax free. It's not regulated at all, because the concept of a free market predates the state is trying to collect the cut for doing absolutely nothing. But anyway, back to the charter. All right. I actually have one with me. Okay. I'm not going to go into why I have it. If you want the details, email me at califamedia@gmail.com, and if anybody responds, I'll put it up there. But for now, I'm not going into it. Anyway, the charter, I actually have a copy. It's bigger than this. I think it's 8 by 14. It might be larger than that. All right. There's a picture of it on the Moorish Science Temple Califa website or page on Facebook. Okay, I'll leave a link to it at the bottom, where there's a picture of the full-size version. But that's what it looks like. Okay, it's got all the little glyphs on it, And if you know what you're doing, I'm not explaining what the glyphs mean, because if you're handling this kind of paperwork, you're supposed to be teaching others what they mean. So I'm not going to go into it. So that's charter. Next thing I want to go into is the Declaration of our Authority. Okay. First, let's look up declaration. All right. Declaration. Like I'm gonna refer to the good sister Yacobe, how she said, and a lot of teachers, when you have a term, You don't just look up one part of that term, like red ball. Okay, oh, well, what's a ball? Or what's red? No, you have to look up everything related to that term to make sure you have a full understanding of what you're dealing with. So, declaration. Declaration. Oh boy, it's a long one. They got a lot of different kinds of declarations. I'm just going to read the general definition for it. Declaration. Ooh, okay. It says in pleading, in evidence, in practice. I'm moving past theory. All right. That's wonderful that you know. Who cares unless you bring it out of your head and show me its value. All right. So boards are active, not passive. Okay. So I'm not pleading. I'm not begging nobody for nothing. We move past that. All right. Praise Allah for those ancestors that came through and took that suffering for us. People don't acknowledge that enough. All right. And now here we are, the culmination of all that pain and anguish. What you gonna do? I'm not pleading nothing. All right. In evidence, I'm not going into your courts. You've already proven that you're not worthy to be dealt with like that. In practice, let's see what this one says. The declaration or declaratory part of a judgment, decree, or order that is part which gives the decision or opinion of the court in the question of the law in the case. Thus, an action raising a question to the construction of a will, the judgment or order declares that according to the true construction of the will, the plaintiff has become entitled to the residue of the testator's estate or the like. And it says sweet. It just says sweet, period. That's really strange. Okay, it doesn't refer to any case or anything. It just says sweet. Okay. So in practice, it's the declaratory part of a judgment, a decree, or an order, which gives the decision or opinion of the court on the question of the law in the case. So let's look at what the Europeans did, right? Because you know the only way out of fire is through the fire. They got sick of their brethren in Europe taxing them and taking their booty from their activities in the Americas. They got fed up with it, so they wrote up a declaration saying, here's our list of grievances. You know, you have proven that you are not worth dealing with, King George. They didn't even want to deal with him because he was like, I'm the king, I don't have to listen to nothing y'all say. Even though, you know, the Magna Carta says, yes, you do. That charter, all right? So they just wrote it out. It's one of those things you can't, in certain circumstances, you can write up your own world. All right, people do it every day. Once upon a time, there was Sudan. Now there's Sudan and South Sudan. They'd had enough. They declared themselves independent. They didn't ask anybody for permission. Once upon a time, there was just Ethiopia and Somalia. Now, right in between it, you see this little bitty country called Eritrea. All right, they didn't ask anybody. They just said, "Hey." I think who is it? The UN. Oh, it's not even a large population. Oh goodness, if I'm not mistaken, some groups have 5 men, and these 5 men have a group of families that they see over. That's the nation. I think you can refer to Cujo Adwo at Candyland Wars. His videos, he goes into the 5 Moors of Sri Lanka. Yeah, 5. Okay, because it's your world. You got here the same way I got here, naked and screaming. But you get to tell me what to do because, exactly. And if we want to be, you know, weighing the justifications, it's my world. It really is. Now that I know it, are you really going to argue it? Because you know I know how to defend it if I'm bold enough to bring it up to you. So anyway, declaration of our authority, which I also have. Okay. This is what it looks like. Looks a lot like the charter. Okay. And this will be made available to the burgeoning, what is that called? Califa University. You know how stuff just evolves and takes on life of its own. People ask a question, you answer a question. You don't want to answer it again because that was pretty good. So I'm gonna make a video of it, and then I'm going to upload that video with my notes and leave it right here for future honors. Or if the person who asked me was like, what did she say? It's right here. Okay? Give it up to that good European education. So all of this, there's a more biz part of Califa University where we're just discussing the corporate side. So I'm going to mirror that and make the simple biz side. That page is already up in another location. So I'll be moving it over to Califa University. And so if you were on the old site, sorry, but it's gonna have to be a subscription. And I thought about it, $13 is too much. I wouldn't pay $13 for it. $5 a month just to maintain it and get access to absolutely everything. But first 3 classes are free if you go to califauniversity.com. No. You go to califamedia.com. Click on Access Full Site. Right at the top is a whole bunch of little buttons. Califa University. It'll take you right there, right? And it'll have all the different areas. I guess people ask me questions. I add more segments, I guess, more colleges. So right now we got our business colleges, and I guess this is setting up the theology section. Okay. So anyway, the Declaration of Our Authority, it says, I'm not going to read all of it. From the tribes, families, and lineages of the free national Moorish Americans comes forth a citizenry of elves and bays. Right? And it has a place for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to sign. Okay? And I'm going to get into those 7 in just a moment. So, Declaration of Our Authority. Declaration. Okay? I'm telling you what it is. And based on the circumstances, I can do that. Okay? In the colonist case, we got 3,000 miles of ocean between us. So I'm going to talk as much smack as I like. In our case, this land is my land, this land is my land, this land was made for me, just me, alright? So really, there's no argument, Mr. Jones, with you proud to say your English. Beat it, alright? So let's read up authority, because I want to make sure that I'm not just talking out my butt, so I'm going to look up authority. Authority. There's lots of different definitions of this one. I'm going to go back to declaration as well. But authority, it just says permission. And then it has a list of case law behind it. And let's see the different types of authorities. Got general and a bunch, governmental and a bunch. Let's see what governmental is. Governmental law, legal right, a right to command or to act. The right and power of public officers to require obedience to their orders lawfully issued in the scope of their public duties. In the English law, anyway, this land is my land. In American law, it's time to pack up. All right. This is no different. On a little aside, our authority, Declaration of Our Authority. There's so much paperwork to back it up, and I have that too. Alright, and little PS to somebody who might be listening. I won't wait too much longer before I do something with what I have myself. Because nobody should be waiting for you to make a grand entrance. People are suffering. Okay? Anyway, and I know how to do it. Anyway, what is it? Oh. People try to, our authority, it's our land, okay, and all I got to do is tell you to go, because we have a contract on file. It's called the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. It says that, there's some other stuff we got to do first that I know how to do, that I'm prepared to do. Anyway, we have a contract that says you have 50 years to do what you had to do on this land, and then you have to go back to the came from. People try to contest that, like, that's not real, you can't do that stuff. People know that never happens. And you have to deal with that, or you have to eyesight the most recent example, Hong Kong. Okay, I believe they got the mandate expired in the year 2000. I remember it because of all the fireworks coming out of Hong Kong for like 3 months. Because the Chinese are like, they're going home. Thank goodness nobody forgot to keep track of the contract and the timetable. So yes, China made a deal with England saying you got 100 years to do what you're going to do on this land. when 100 years is up, per this contract, you have to be gone. There's no negotiations, nothing. You have to leave, okay? Their contract was up. They made this contract in before 1800. They had 50 years. So it's like right around the time of the Civil War, they were supposed to have been gone, okay? But hey, Allah is the best of planners. I'm giddy with excitement trying to see. I can't wait to see how this turns out. All right. But anyway, our authority. That's like I said, the legal right to do it because it's our land. Okay. I'm gonna go back to declaration real quick to make sure something's just telling me to go back to declaration. And you know how that works. When the spirit moves you, you might want to follow or you might suffer. Declaration is pleading in practice in general. A declaration is a statement made out to a court. Yeah, there's lots of different kinds. Okay. Self-serving. Oh, self-serving declaration. One made by a party in his own interest and at some time and place out of court, not including testimony, which he gives as witness at the trial. Sounds like what the prophet did when he went to Cuba. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, so you need your, as far as the temple, okay, you need your charter, you have a declaration of authority. Like I said, I keep notes. My notes will be a lot more concise and flowing than the video might be. Next is study group authorization. Alright, so if there's like a temple in your area, and y'all might be beefing, or you might be beefing with the temple, but you know, you really want to work with the leadership, you just don't want to be there, you can actually, you know, intelligently approach them and ask them, hey, can I set up a study group? It would take you too long to get here anyway, something like that, right? And if you demonstrate yourself properly, which there's another video available called Demonstration Criteria for Potential Adepts that I suggest you take a look at before you go asking, can I set up a study group? Alright? Because be prepared to be tested. That's something fair. Okay? So anyway, if you're approved to, oh yeah, you know, we need a group out there. Because we need some groups. You know, there's not enough temples, there's not enough study groups. So be bold, take it upon yourself to get with your boys, get with your girls, and set up a study group, if not a temple. Okay? Before I move on to the study group, the thing about the charter. The prophet says in the end times, in the fulfilling of the prophecy, I, the prophet, have the charter to issue, and if you want one, come up to me, get one. He also said, I have them to issue out to each state, which means there's supposed to only be one charter in every state. So, you know, you walk into some temples, actually, I'll just say, every temple I walk into, there's a charter. So, I'm not going to encourage anybody to print out, you know, what is that? Plug and play with this stuff, all right? Because it makes us look stupid. Like we don't know what we're doing. It makes us look laughable in the eyes of the nations. Because that's not how you do it. It's disrespectful. You don't even respect your own stuff. Watch it there. So my thing is, I'm suggesting, you know who's making the most impact in your area. All right, there's that one group of boys or their leader that just sticks out. Approach them and be like, can I become a study group under you? All right, and then just by sheer number, you're gonna establish yourself as legit. You know, it's not about going out there. I'm trying to recruit the most. Prove yourself worthy, and you'll attract the most by default. All right, so that's why I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna make the charter available. And yes, I am. I will make the charter available. It won't be online though. Okay, it will be available, and I'm gonna leave it at that because those who know know. Anyway, so if you can find that temple, it's like, wow, you're doing a great job. Can I help you expand with a study group? Okay, do y'all have a charter? No. You need to see Tahita. She'll hook you up. Do y'all have a charter? Yes. Ooh, great. Can I become a study group under your tutelage, under your supervision? You know, I need to have And that's what we're going into. So when you go and approach somebody, you know exactly what to ask for. And it's like, ooh, I can work with you because the fewer instructions, the more time we have to actually accomplish stuff, right? So anyway, you ask them, can we become a study group? And at that point, you know, if they don't have it, please send them to Califa Media, and I will hook them up. I'm gonna just say it. Temples are treated quite well through Califa Media. Individuals, like if you're just an individual out there by yourself, you know, come on in. If you are a member of a temple, welcome. Right? If you are a temple, oh, what can I get you? What can I get you? I'm so glad you're here. All right, I treat temples the best, right? Because it's a collection of people, right? Hey, that's just how I work. Anyway, so if they don't have the paperwork that I'm about to tell you you need to become set up as a study group, send them to me. I will hook them up, all right? Because I won't say I'm giving it away, but I might as well. It might as well be. Um, the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because I'm looking for consistency across the board. When, okay, Chinese ambassador is interested in doing business, he wants to help fund Little Morocco. All right, you know, so he wants to see how much we got our stuff together, and he's got like, you know, he got some people that he's in contact with from his nation who have been contacted by our people from our nation. He wants to see how consistent and how serious we are, because these are grown-ups we're dealing with, right? So he goes to the temple in LA and sees this paperwork. He goes to the temple in Philly and sees this paperwork. Temple in New York, temple in Virginia, temple in Illinois. Understand? That's why it's like I am not trying to make it hard for folks to get this stuff. All right? Hey, I won't say it was given to me. I earned the right to do this because the stuff was garbage when I got it. I revised all of it, and now it's like, well, I don't know what you're trying to do with it. Like I said, I'm not waiting on nobody's grand entrances. We ain't got time for this stuff. They're hunting us down in the street. I'm not scared. I'm not panicked. I know they're not shooting at me. I'm trying to help people get set up for this flood that's about to happen. Okay? Excuse me. Anyway, so you get set up. I want to be a study group. They will issue to you a study group authorization, letter of authorization. All right? It's worded up. Like I said, consistency. Done for you. You know, if they wanna help you out, if they wanna set you up as a study group, califamedia.com, califamedia@gmail.com. We have this available. It's not just out there. You have to be a temple and get in touch with me, and I will make it available to you. Right? Then once you have your letter, you will be issued from your temple who has a charter a warrant. All right, let's look up what the word warrant means. All right. So the charter is the document that's issued to every state saying it's like the government. The United States, our federal or central government is Mecca. Okay, that's what the prophet is. He literally is interred in Mecca. Okay, he has charters to issue all the states. You gotta come see him get one. You can meet him on the ethereal plane. You know how to do it. So he's the central government. Each charter is acting like each state. Islam. So, and if we're respecting the highest law in the land, the Constitution, we want to enforce the Constitution, you cannot set up more than two states in the same territory. That's why it looks kind of crazy when we say, I got a charter, he got a charter, they got a charter, everybody and their mama got a charter. All right. So start hooking up the ones who are actually doing the work, and beat out the other ones by sharing up, by becoming their study group and getting a warrant, which is like the government issuing, or government or state issuing. They call them charters. The state, I guess that should tell you what these states really are. The United States is a union. I'm sorry. Anyway, states issue charters. In our case, it would be the temple issuing a warrant, all right, authorizing you to act as a study group, all right. So, and I think I also have one where it authorizes you to act as a subordinate temple to your grand temple in your state. And then you have the supreme major temple in Chicago. As well, for those who might not be sure of the structure. Just try to look up the structure of the federal government of the United States if you're confused about how it's set up. Look at the description of those duties and see if you can juxtapose it to the description of the duties for our temple, which I actually have with me. I'll make a separate video on that because I'm not trying to throw too much at you at once. But anyway, warrant. Yes, the melanin makes me jump around. Warrant. Lots of different definitions. A writ or precept from a competent authority in pursuance of law, directing the doing of an act and addressed to an officer or person competent to do the act, and affording him protection from damage if he does it. People be Wood, 71 New York 376. Okay, like I said, so the prophet has the warrants to issue to each state. Okay, so how many warrants should there be out there right now? Should only be 50. You might buy 50 in one city. Anyway, that aside, we'll get it together. But for right now, as long as we got people moving around, eventually, you know how little drops, they'll eventually form into big puddles, and that big puddle will turn into a pond. Allah willing. So I'm not tripping. I had a sister ask me, can I get the member rate at Califamedia, even though I have a membership card from RV Day Publications? Told her straight up, I could care less where you got your membership card from. I really could. All right. My thing is, you took the effort to go and get one. Okay. Even if you made it yourself, that's even more impressive in my eyes because I'm not waiting on nobody. That's what I saw. It don't look like fraud to me because you're proclaiming yourself a Moorish American, and you're doing it the best way you can. Okay. Even though we do have a standard. All right. The prophet left us everything. He made it so that if we finally woke up, that was all we had to do. Alright, so I don't know if I posted it, certificate. I have it. Warrant of authority. Okay. Looks like the charter. Doesn't have all the glyphs, like I said. If you ADEP, you know what that means and why they're not there. So I won't go into it here. Ask your grand chief. Okay. So study group authorization, warrant. Chief acceptance letter. That's next. Okay. This might upset some people. I don't care. I really don't care. You can make all the nasty comments you want. You wouldn't believe what I've had to deal with all my life. My name has always been Tahida Sajuri Najee-Ullah. Alright? I had a different last name until I was 3, but I always, as long as I've known, I've been defending Islam. Okay? So I had no problem defending my actions, and I know how to do it quite well. My father was a Marine in Rio. Yep. Anyway, I have on me chief acceptance letter, minister's certificate, and I also have a confirmation certificate. The confirmation certificate, I'll start with that first. Okay, these are draft copies, okay? I may make a sample available online. It's going to have blam, sample all the way across it. So if you want to steal it or whatever, go right ahead. But if you don't go through all that effort, maybe it's yours anyway. Anyway, basically this confirmation certificate, it confirms that you stood before your body of select Moors and recited your covenant 101's nationality card and the Constitution, okay, before a body of Moors. And now you have been appointed ADEP. You are now being credible or being competent enough to be appointed to a sheep position should one need them. You know, I love it. It's like how Mormons appoint elders. You know, their children are ready to get these at 18, okay, and then they go out and become missionaries. Those are elders on those butts, all right? He's only 18, 19 years old. He has the mind of a 40 or 50-year-old, though, okay? So, yeah, those, you might want to talk to the Mormons. They know some stuff. They look young, but they're old, all right? Anyway, so your sheep acceptance letter. Like I said, I have that too. I guess this is more for the temples. If you don't have one and you want to start appointing your adepts as sheiks and sending them out, like, okay, brother Harrison Bay is moving from California to Tennessee. He's a good brother. He knows a lot. You know, it's going to be a great loss to our temple. But if you have his paperwork in order, he'll be set up to go and do it in Tennessee. All right? So we gave him his sheep appointment letter. Okay, so their temple, and you need this, hey, get at me, califamedia@gmail.com. This will not be just made available because, you know, I don't want everybody just out there appointing sheets. This stuff has been tampered with enough. All right. Anyway, and then their certificate appointing you to the divine ministry. All right. Once again, that'll only be available to temples. I won't go into what they're for because the sheiks know what they're for. That being said, okay, temple. Okay, so we have charter, which the prophet has to give out to every state. I suggest finding someone that you would like, you think you can work with, who already has one, and from them get a warrant of authority to become a study group. Okay. We also have the sheep accept the confirmation certificate. When you go before your congregation or your gathering of more, and you recite all your basics, and then minister certificate and sheep acceptance certificate. MSTA council construct. I'm going to make that into a separate document or a separate movie there. But real quick, I don't think I brought it in with me. No, so I'll make that into a separate video. It's pretty good. It gives you the breakdown of what officers you should look for in your temple, and if you don't see it, ask to fill it. Okay? Now, there's also a video on demonstration criteria for ADAPs. I suggest you watch that so you'll know what she's looking for. Okay? In order to start a temple or a study group, or even a temple if there's not one in your area, you need 3 people. The Constitution and bylaws says 2, branch sheep and assistant branch sheep. So I'm saying go ahead and appoint 3. This is why I'm saying that. You know, if you do what you want, you know, you may adhere to the letter of the law. This is why I'm doing this. When you go to fill, okay, that's on your red side, you only need 2. But when you go to fill out on the corporate side, you need 3. Alright? So you might as well just have those 3 to start with. Alright? It's just like when you file your articles of incorporation. Just ask for the certification, right? Or not certification. Yeah, the certification. You just ask for it, like, no, when you send me back my file copy, I want it certified so I don't have to ask for it later. And we can just keep it moving. Alright, we don't have time to be wasted. So I suggest having 3. The 3 you would need would be your branch sheet, your assistant branch sheet, and your secretary treasurer. That would equate to your, at least in California, okay, on the form they ask for your statement of information. When you incorporate this living thing, and basically you're getting it set up on the other side in the bakery, they ask for your CEO, your secretary, and your chief financial officer. Okay, your CEO is going to be your branch chief. Your secretary for this document, I would suggest using your assistant branch chief, and then CFO, chief financial officer, make that the secretary of the temple, make that the CFO of the bakery, if that makes sense. Right? Like I said, I'll put my notes up along with it. So you need those 3 because it's usually at least 3 appointed on the document. But let it be known, there are 7 positions to fill. Right? A council of 7 consists of, hold on, and I'll put up the details of it in another video. The branch chief, chairman, assistant grand chief, assistant chairman, secretary, treasurer, business manager, historian, education, head of education or education minister, and head of public affairs. Okay, like I said, I'll put up another video detailing that. Oh, that's it. Okay. So yeah, recap, hit rewind. Alright, and just watch it again. There will be notes available online, and you can go to califamedia.com, click on access full site, and then at the top of the full site, Califa University. This is part 1 of Temple Biz. So this episode will be free, and so will the notes that go with it. So that being said, happy Be an Angel Day. It's getting dark outside, so happy Holy Day to the Moors. And good Sabbath to the Moors and everybody out there, okay? That being said, it's Rob. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your support. Oh my goodness. That's why I'm able to do this, because of how you all are supporting me. Praise Allah. Please keep it up, please. I mean, please. So that being said, it's praise Allah. And I'll see you when I see you.